Hello everyone, in today's video, we are going to review for PA2. So the trigonometry hand trick will help us determine the exact values of trigonometric functions with angles 0 degree, 30, 45, 60, and 90 degrees. So instead of using a table of values for this one or calculator, we can just use our hand. So first, take either hand with your palm facing around you. Next, with your palm facing around you, your little finger will be your 0 degree, your ring finger will be your 30 degrees, your middle will be 45, and this one is 60 degrees, and the thumb will be 90 degrees. Now let us have first the sine function. So to determine sine theta using the hand trick, it would be equal to the square root of the number of fingers underneath divided by 2. So supposing we have sine 30 degrees. So first bend your 30 degrees finger and then count how many fingers underneath. So there is only one finger underneath. Then sine 30 degrees is equal to square root of 1 over 2. And what is the square root of 1? Correct, it is 1. So sine 30 degrees is equal to 1/2. Now let us have the cosine function. To determine cosine theta using the hand trick, it would be equal to the square root of the number of fingers above divided by 2. So supposing we need to determine cosine 60 degrees. So how many fingers above? Correct. So there is one finger above. So therefore, cosine 60 degrees is equal to square root of 1 over 2. And what is the square root of 1? Correct. It would be equal to 1. So therefore, cosine 60 degrees is equal to 1/2. So let us determine tangent 30 degrees. First, you need to flip your hand and bend down your 30 degrees finger. Then count how many fingers above. Correct. There is only one finger above. How about the number of fingers underneath or below? Correct. There are 3 fingers underneath. Now, substituting the values, we have tangent 30 degrees is equal to square root of 1 over square root of 3. And square root of 1 is 1. So therefore, we will be having 1 square root of 3. Since there is a square root in the denominator, we need to rationalize. So we are going to multiply it by square root of 3 over square root of 3. So either of the two will do. So either you stop at 1 over square root of 3 or you will gonna rationalize, which is equal to square root of 3 over 3. So either of the two will do. So tangent 30 degrees is equal to 1 over square root of 3 or square root of 3 over 3. Before we proceed to cosine function, please answer this one. I will give you 5 seconds to answer. What is sine 60 degrees? Timer starts now. Time is up. What is your answer? That's right. The answer is square root of 3 over 2. Since we have 3 fingers underneath, so sine 60 degrees is equal to square root of 3 over 2. Now I will give you 10 seconds to answer this one. Let us read together. Evaluate the following. Tan 45 degrees plus sine 30 degrees minus cosine 60 degrees is equal to what? Using your hand trick. Timer starts now. what is your answer? That's right. The answer is 1. First, we are going to graph y is equal to sine theta. So in here, we are going to graph it manually. So we will be having the x-axis and the y-axis. Under your y-axis, we will be having positive 1 and negative 1. Along your x-axis, we will be using the radians. And remember that pi is equal to 180 degrees. In here, we will base our answer in the unit circle. So first, we are going to have pi over 2. We will be using the increment pi over 2. So we will be adding all along pi over 2. So the next one would be pi. The next one would be 3 pi over 2. The next one is 2 pi. Then next is 5 pi over 2. Then 3 pi, then next one is 7 pi, and then we have 4 pi, and then the last one would be 9 pi over 2. And on the other side, we have negative pi over 2, negative pi, and negative 3 pi over 2. Now, we will base our answer for the y coordinate using the unit circle. So, to get sine theta, it will be equal to your y coordinate. So, to get sine 0 degree, it will be equal to 0. Then sine 90 degree will be equal to 1. Sine 180 degrees will be equal to 0. And then sine 270 degrees will be equal to negative 1. Then we have sine 360 degrees, which is equal to sine 0 degree, which is equal to 0. Then remember the pattern for this one. So it means that when we have another cycle for the unit circle, so this is at 0, then sine 5 pi over 2 will be equal to 1, then next would be equal to 0, then we have negative 1, then we have 0, then we have positive 1. And then counterclockwise, so we have sine negative pi over 2, which is equal to negative 1, and then we have sine negative pi, which is equal to 0, and then we have sine negative 3 pi over 2, which is equal to 1. Now, let us connect the points. Okay, and then it is continuous, so we have arrows on both ends. So that is the graph for y is equal to sine theta. After graphing your y is equal to sine theta, let us have the characteristics for angles between 0 degree and 360 degrees. So first, the graph of y is equal to sine theta is a wave-like curve and is continuous. And the second one, the graph of y is equal to sine theta begins from the origin, from 0, 0. And then the graph of y is equal to sine theta has a maximum point at 90 degrees, 1, and a minimum point at 270 degrees, negative 1. And then the last characteristic is the value of sine theta is equal to 0 when theta is equal to 0 degree, 180 degrees, and 360 degrees. The next one would be the graph of y is equal to cosine theta. So in here, we are going to base our answer in the unit circle. So remember that cosine theta is equal to x coordinate. So determining cosine 0 degrees, it would be equal to 1. And then cosine 90 degrees, it would be equal to 0. Then next, cosine 180 degrees would be equal to negative 1. And then cosine 270 degrees would be equal to 0. And then we have a full circle. So we have cosine 360 degrees, which is equal to 1. Now, let us solve the pattern. So the next one would be positive 1. The next one would be at 0. Then the next one would be at negative 1. The next one would be at 0. Then sine 4 pi would be equal to 1. Then the last one would be at 0. Then counterclockwise, so sine negative pi over 2 would be equal to 0, then sine negative pi would be equal to negative 1, then sine negative 3 pi over 2 would be at 0. Then we connect the coordinates or the points. It looks like this. And then both ends will be continuous. So that is the graph of y is equal to cosine theta. Now let us have the characteristics of the graph of y is equal to cosine theta for angles between 0 degree and 360 degrees. So the first one, the graph of y is equal to cosine theta, is a wave-like curve and is continuous. The second one, the graph of y is equal to cosine theta, begins from 0 degree, 1. And the graph of y is equal to cosine theta has a maximum points at 0 degree, 1, and 360 degrees, negative 1, and a minimum point at 180 degrees, negative 1. So remember that maximum point is the highest point and minimum point is the lowest point. Now, the fourth one, the value of cosine theta is 0 when theta is equal to 90 degrees and 270 degrees. Now let us study the characteristics of the graph of y is equal to tangent theta for angles between 0 degree and 360 degrees. So first, the graph of y is equal to tangent theta is not wave-like curve and is not continuous. And then the graph of y is equal to tangent theta begins from the origin. And then the graph of y is equal to tangent theta doesn't have maximum or minimum point. Unlike the graph of y is equal to sine theta and y is equal to cosine theta. And then the last one, the value of tangent theta is 0 when the angle is equal to 0 degree, 180 degrees, and 360 degrees. So before I end up the discussion, please answer this one. I will give you 5 seconds to answer. Where does the graph of y is equal to sine theta begin? Timer starts now. Time is up. What is your answer? That's right. The answer is from the origin. That's it for now. Thank you for watching and good luck in your PA2. Bye.